Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Salesforce Reports. In this session, we are going to see what are bucket fields and how do we create them in Salesforce. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. So I am in this org and I'll go ahead and create a report. And I'm going to create a simple report on account. And let me first just remove the unnecessary info that are there, which I don't want. And I will also keep the filters as the standard ones. Let's make it all time. Refresh. All right. Okay. So now first let's understand that why do we even need to create bucket fields? Okay. So if you observe here, there are two pick list that we have in this report. Okay. This particular field type, it's a pick list, right? That is why you can see different values, right? So the pick list values for account type are customer channel, customer direct, and prospect, right? These are the three values that you're seeing on these records. And the next pick list value is rating, right? Hot, warm, and cold. So these three are the options that are available for rating pick list, right? Now let's just say that if someone says that, you know what, I want this report to show me combined values of customer direct and prospect all together, and then customer channel should be separate. Okay, so let's just first understand this by grouping. Okay, so if I group this column, okay, group rows, sorry, if I group this row, group rows by this field, then let's see how the values are showing up. So the values will show up on individual pick list values, right? So prospect one. So that means there is one account where the account type is prospect. There are 9 accounts where the account type is customer direct. And there are 5 accounts where the account type is customer channel. But what is the requirement that we are talking about? I want to group prospect and customer channel together. So this report should rather show me customer channel and direct, and then it should show me 6 accounts, right? Because customer channel has 5 accounts and prospect has 1, and then customer direct should come as separately. Okay, so this is the requirement that I have. Either you can group prospect with customer channel, or you can group prospect with customer direct, right? Based on your requirement, right? Whatever the kind of requirement you have right now. So let's just go ahead and see how we can create that kind of grouping using bucket field. Okay. So first I am just removing this grouping that I've created. Okay. And let me include that field again. So here it is, right? Now, when you want to create a bucket field, you just need to click on the arrow of the field. Okay. And then here you will get the option of bucket this column. Okay, so if I click on this, then I will get this option to create the bucket. So first you need to give the name of the bucket. So the field name is type, right? But for the bucket name, you need to give a different name. Okay, so let me just give it as type bucket. Okay, and once I give the name, now the time is to create the buckets. So the first bucket that I'm going to create is, I will create the bucket for prospect and customer direct. Okay, so prospect and customer direct. So these are the two kind of accounts that I want to keep into this bucket. Okay, now in this particular bucket, what are the values that I want to group? I want to group prospect and customer direct. Okay, so once you select the values, click on here, and then you will see all the buckets that you have created. So this is the one that I've created right now, prospect and customer direct. So we'll move these two selected values to this bucket. Okay, now let's just create another bucket for customer channel. So here are the unbucketed values. Okay, so here if you click on this, then you will see the values that you have kept into this bucket. But then if you click on this, then you can see all the other values that are still there, which you have not kept under any bucket. Okay, so let's just go ahead and create another bucket for channel. And then in this bucket, I want to, which value I want to move customer channel. So click on here and then find your bucket. So my bucket is channel for this one. All right. So I have created two buckets, prospect and customer direct and channel. And similarly, like, based on the types, kind of values that you have in your pick list, you can create different kind of buckets. Okay. So once my two buckets are created here, now I'll just click on apply. And remember the name of this field, okay, type bucket. So apply and refresh. Now you can see that I have this field available here, right? Type bucket. So now the time is to just group it by the bucket field and not by the normal field that we had, okay? So if I now group this report by this row, group rows by this field, okay, type bucket, click here and then refresh. Now you see, right? I had created two buckets. So it will show me the result based on the two buckets. So the first bucket was prospect and customer direct. So any account where the type is prospect or customer direct will show up under here. If you see, right, Walmart is customer direct, Citibank is customer direct. This particular account was like, prospect. So it is showing prospect. So all the accounts where the type is either prospect or customer direct is coming under this bucket. Similarly, the channel accounts are coming under channel bucket. Okay, so all these accounts have the account type as customer channel. So similarly, you can also like create a bucket for like other any other remaining values. So for example, let me go here, and this was my bucket field. Okay, right, not from here. I had not saved it, so the okay, so this was the bucket field. Okay, now here if I want to edit this bucket column, okay, so what I can do is I wanted to create another bucket, right? So add bucket, and I want to keep all other values here. Okay, so other, and then in other I want to include any other account types. Okay, and then let's move it to the bucket that we just created for other and click on apply. Once we have applied, let's just group rows by this bucket field. Okay, so here you can see it is two, but this is because this is the blank. These two are the accounts where the account type is actually not filled in. It is blank, so it is coming as separate. But we are not seeing anything under other because we don't have any such account. So let's just go ahead and quickly create an account. Okay, so test account. Okay, and then account type. So here I will choose a value which is available into the other bucket. So technology partner. Let's save it. Let's go back here, and I have to save this, and then let's just save and run this. Okay. All right. So now here you can see, right, other, because this particular account has a value which is available under that other bucket field. Okay. So I think you understood now that how to create a bucket field and why do we even need to create it. Now let's say I also I want to create another bucket based on rating. Okay. So you can do that as well. Let's just go here, rating, and then bucket this column. Okay. So rating bucket. Okay. And because this particular field has three different values, so I'll just simply go ahead and create three buckets. So hot, and for hot, I only want to include hot accounts over here. Okay. Now let's create another one, cold. Here we will only keep the ones where the value is cold. Let's just create another one, warm. And let's include the ones where the value is warm. Okay. So this bucket is also ready. Click on apply, refresh. So here rating bucket, right? Now if I want, I can group rows by this field. Now here you can see, right? So because there are accounts where there are no values in the rating, right? So this hyphen, wherever you're seeing this dash, right, that means there's no rating available. But let's just check where the rating is there, right? So for example, in this one, so I have created two bucket fields, and then I am grouping this report by both the bucket fields. Okay, so the first grouping that it is showing me is by the bucket field that I've created on the account type field. Okay, prospect and customer direct, there are 10 accounts are falling under this bucket, and out of those 10 accounts there are 3 accounts which falls under this bucket. Okay, hot 3, warm 3. But you know what, here there is one thing which is not making sense, correct? Because this particular information I would have gotten just by simply grouping the rating column, right? I didn't have to create a bucket because I did not combine any values, correct? So let me go back and edit this, edit the rating bucket. Okay, so edit bucket column, and let's just delete warm. Okay, because let's just keep hot and warm under one. Okay, so edit this, so hot and warm. Okay, and here I want to include warm as well under hot and warm. Okay, so and cold will have only cold, and hot and warm will have both the values, hot and warm. Okay, and apply. So refresh. Okay, now it makes more sense. Okay, so prospect and customer direct bucket has 10 accounts. Now out of those 10 accounts, there are 6 accounts which are falling under this bucket, hot and warm. So that means 6 accounts either has the hot rating or the warm rating. Okay, so you can see this account is hot rating, this account is also has a hot rating, this one is warm, hot and warm, right? So this is the bucket that we have created on rating. And if you see, the cold one is separate, right? Because I just simply created another one just for cold. All right. So this is how you can create a bucket field for a single field, or multiple fields. And then you just have to group your report by those bucket fields. Once you are done creating the bucket fields, you have to group your report by those bucket fields, right? And then you will get the desired result. All right. So this was on a summary report. Now let's just go ahead and see that how we can create bucket fields and apply it on the matrix report. Okay, so I'm just removing all of it, and let's do it again. Okay, so I have removed all the groupings that I had applied. Okay, first I want to create a matrix report, and then I want to show you how you can apply bucket fields grouping on the matrix report. Okay, so let me first group rows by account type and group columns by rating. This is just, I'm doing this just to show you, or just to remind you what a matrix report looks like. Okay, so this is a matrix report. Okay, so there is one prospect account which has the rating as cold. There are 3 customer direct type accounts where the rating is hot. There are 3 accounts where the rating is warm and the type is customer direct, right? So the rows are grouped by type and the columns are grouped by rating. Okay, this is how a matrix report looks like. Now let's say that I want to group prospect and customer direct together and hot and warm together. Okay, so that means I have to use those bucket fields that we have created. We can use the same bucket fields that we created for the summary report, right? I'm using the same report. If it would have been a different report, then I would have to recreate the bucket fields. But until and unless I'm working on the same report, I can use the fields. Okay, if you see here, these 2 fields are available. Okay, so let's just click on save. And after that, I'm removing the groupings that I have already done. Okay, so I removed this, and I'm also removing this. Okay, and let me include those 2 fields. Okay, and I want to include the bucket fields, right? Because that is what I want to group the rows or columns by. Okay, so rating bucket, and the other one was type bucket. Okay, Let's refresh this. And this is the information that we are getting. And let's also include the normal field information that it shows. Okay, rating, refresh. Now I want to group the rows by type, okay? But which type? Not the normal field, the bucket that I've created, right? Where the prospect and customer direct are grouped together, bucketed together, and channel and other has been kept like separately. Okay, so let's just group the rows by this. But it is not a matrix report yet, right? Because I also want to group the columns. So now I'll group the column by the rating bucket, not the rating, but the rating bucket, because rating bucket is where I have kept the hot and warm into one. So group columns by this field. One second. Let me remove this. Not sure what happened there, but let's just do it again. Let me click on save. And then let me include all those values. Rating bucket, type bucket, and then rating and type. All right. Click on save. And we want to group the rows by this and columns by this. All right. So now here you can see if in this matrix report, the rows are grouped by the type bucket field that I've created and the columns are grouped by the rating bucket field that I've created. Okay. So there are 6 accounts where the type is either prospect and customer direct and their rating is either hot and warm. Similarly, the same kind of combination goes for other values here, right? So there is one account where the rating is cold, but the type could be either prospect or customer direct. Okay. So that is how it has been grouped. Now let's just save and run this here. Okay. So this was a matrix report where we have applied the buckets. Now also if you want to see these data, right, you can just click on these cells. So 6, now if you see here, you can see all these 6 accounts where this filter applies. Okay, so type bucket where the type is either prospect and customer. Okay, so if you see all these accounts, right, these are customer direct, there is no prospect. Okay, so that's fine. But here this one, right, hot or warm, so it is either hot or it is either warm. If there would have been a prospect account as well, then it would have listed like that as well. If there would have been a prospect account with rating either hot and warm, then that will also get listed here, right? I can quickly show you. So let's just create a prospect account. Okay, prospect type account with the rating as either hot or warm. So account, rating, let's just keep it warm, and type we'll keep it as prospect. Let's go back to the report and refresh the report. 12 records, right? It started showing us 12 records. And here, look at this, the prospect started coming, right? So this is how it will work, right? And it is like it is really nice to see like what you have, what kind of filters do you have. So it is also showing you that based on your bucket, what are the criteria that you have applied to. Okay, so and if you click on the total, right, then you will see all the records. Okay, so this was about how to create a bucket field and apply the bucket field grouping on the summary report and on a matrix report. I hope that now you have your understanding on the bucket fields is at least clear enough to get started on this. And I feel that if you want to, it's not something very difficult, but I would still say that you should at least practice once or twice in order to get the clear cut understanding of how you can do it, right? Because these are the simplest examples that I've shown, right? But when you're working on a project, there could be more difficult scenarios where you would have to think yourself, like, that, okay, what are the bucket fields that I can create, like, so just practice once or twice so that you will be really clear on the concepts and you should be able to use it when you're required to. All right, so this is all about the bucket fields in Salesforce reporting. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you for watching.